For more than 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, and the biggest selection of boats in the area. Boats like the G3 Sportsman, featuring sturdy construction and superior features. These perfect fishing boats were designed with wide deck space, plenty of storage, and a smart layout. And they also deliver more fun per gallon than anything else on the water. See for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
The following is a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.
You are watching the Sports Source Kickoff with John Pennington, presented by Madisonville Marine.
Good game day morning. Welcome into the Sports Source Kickoff presented by your friends at Madisonville Marine. Tennessee's got a big game tonight with LSU, and they're going to be coached by an interim coach, Brady Hoke. What do we expect? Is this team going to be flat like Florida? Is this team going to be pepped up like LSU did last year with their interim? We'll find out, and we're going to discuss it here with a big panel of people. We're also going to talk, of course, about the coaching search a little bit. John Gruden and Lane Kiffin, their names will come up. All right, let's dive right in. First segment of our program brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Cold weather is coming. That means it's time to think about the kind of workhorse boat that sportsmen want, like G3 Sportsman, appropriate name, G3 John boat, Skeeter Bass boats. And that was the first company to ever make a bass boat, Skeeter. They've got all types of boats down at Madisonville Marine, including those three I just mentioned. Madisonville Marine, well, there's no better place to buy a boat. That's because of that selection, the prices, most of all the customer service. 40-plus years, Madisonville Marine. All right, want to welcome in the wave of panelists we have today. Jimmy Hobbs from WNML, AM and FM. LaMarcus Thompson right there, former Vol football player. Right over there, Vince Farrar from WNML, AM and FM. And Mike Griffith from SECCountry.com. We will be talking, as I said, about the coaching search a little later. Brady Hoke is the interim head coach tonight. Said he's going to make some tweaks. I know we're completely spitballing here. And in terms of, what do you expect? Well, there's no way to have any expectations. But I'll ask anyway. What kind of tweaks do you see? We know that Larry Scott's going to move from the booth down to the field. What are you expecting based on what players said this week, the reaction to the Butch Jones? Is this team going to quit? Is this team going to be up? What are you thinking?
I think they'll play hard. Brady Hoke talked about changing the practice routine a little bit. He had more ones against ones. He had more competition during practice. He's flipping the routine of Thursday to Friday, Friday to Thursday. So he's making some changes, and I think we know the definition of insanity, keep doing the same thing, get the same result. So he's making some changes there. The players, I think, have said the right thing. Now, some people would argue the players at Florida said the right thing after McElwain was fired. They went to Missouri and laid an egg. I don't expect that with this group. I do think they'll come out, and I do think they'll play hard. Is that good enough? We'll see, but I think they'll play hard.
Gentlemen, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with Jimmy. I think they're going to come out and play hard. Your biggest issue is basically if you go into the locker room, you see what are these guys going to, how they're going to react to Butch leaving. Are they going to follow, Hoke? Are they going to do that, or are they just going to, like you said, lay an egg? Or so you just don't really know what's going to happen. It's kind of a.
As a former player, how do you think you would? Well, you actually went through this. You actually played for Fulmer, Dooley, and Kiffin. You were on the Wyoming. Is that correct? You played for all? Okay.
All of them.
All right. So you went through it twice, actually.
Twice.
Fulmer wasn't removed, but he was fired, and we saw what happened with Wyoming. Dooley was removed, and then Jim Chaney stepped in. You beat Kentucky the last game of the year. As a player who's been in one of those locker rooms when that went through. One team acted one way, another team acted another, probably because they loved Philip Fulmer and didn't Derek Dooley. Your thoughts, though, on give us an inside glimpse as to how a player and a team looks at those changes midseason.
Well, be honest with you, they suck. We hate those changes. I mean, but like you said, with Fulmer, they rallied behind Fulmer. They didn't want Fulmer to leave. All of a sudden, this whole new team pops up when we go.
The last game, yeah.
We played good football.
The first one, though, the Wyoming game was the opposite.
Yeah, it was definitely
opposite.
Then it got better. Then it got better. But you go under Derek Dooley, a lot of players didn't really follow Derek Dooley just because he was kind of losing that team beyond, that time. So, it's just the difference, apples and oranges, of what you're going to deal with. So, I mean, with Hoke, you don't know. Just basically you don't know what's going to happen.
Guys, your thoughts on whether this Tennessee team fired up? And let's base this on, there have been some stories that came out this week. Now, to be fair, anytime a coach leaves, the guys who weren't starting or the parents who thought their kids should play more, everybody starts airing their dirty laundry. I'm not saying none of it's true. I'm just saying I wouldn't believe all of it in either direction. But these things typically go ugly. You had John Kelly made the comment, what do you want in the next coach? He said honesty. You've had some other players on the team that have said Butch Jones is family. Then you got the guys who are putting up stuff on Instagram that show he's clearly not family.
Well,
based on what you're hearing.
The John Kelly thing, talking to one of his people that reached out to me, and I think Kelly's going to make a statement after the game. He's debating whether or not to come back for his senior year. So he was thinking honesty, like he wants to know what his role is going to be the upcoming year. People took that wrong, according to one of his representatives that called me and said, hey, how should John go about it? I said, just wait till his next media opportunity and clear the air on something like that. But to answer your question, John, I don't think it's about the coaches. I don't think it's about Brady Hoke. I think it's about Tennessee seniors trying to get to a fourth bowl game and, believe it or not, win a fourth bowl game. And if they were to somehow upset LSU, which I don't want to be a spoiler here, but I don't think they will, they'd be the only program in Tennessee history to win bowl games 4 straight years. So that's what's in the back of the seniors' mind. They better worry about LSU in my mind. I think they'll show up. I just don't think they got enough. Firepower, man.
Yeah, you got to get
it's not going to take the role of talent. Okay.
You got to get the first one definitely with LSU first because that's such a difficult challenge. I think they'll play hard. And something that Jimmy mentioned also is that they've said the right thing this week. They've actually generally said the right thing all season long. We haven't really heard them misstep, talk very positively, not really throw Butch Jones under the bus. So I expect some tweaks mainly in practice and how they operate and try to get more out of the players. But I still think overall they're just too undermanned with all the injuries that have accumulated throughout the season.
Quarterback under center and short yardage. There's a tweak.
Well, okay, here's what I was going to say. Very quickly, let's talk quarterback. I mean, like a minute. Everybody chime in. Who do you start? Let's say Garantano is good to go. Will McBride looked pretty good for a half last week. More decisive, I thought, than Garantano or Dormady had looked this year. Who do you go with if Garantano's healthy?
I'd go McBride. I like what I saw against Missouri. I know Missouri doesn't have a great defense. Missouri and LSU's defense is a lot better. But I thought that touchdown pass he threw to Ethan Wolf under duress, he ran for, 63 yards? I would go with him, and then if I had to bring Garantano off the bench, I would, but I'd start McBride.
Got rid of the football when he was in trouble, which is a big difference from what Garantano had been doing, taking the sacks. What would you guys do, Garantano or McBride?
I'm going to agree with McBride. I mean, I was a big Garantano fan, but just seeing McBride, handle the game and how he goes through his progressions, he's actually a really, really good young freshman quarterback.
Agreed. I would go McBride too.
I would go Garantano. He is your future.
Get off my set.
He's protected. Okay, he's protected the football more so than McBride. He turned the ball over a couple times, but I do agree that he played well, was more decisive. But he's your future.
Yeah, I would go McBride, but I think Brady Hoke's going to go with Garantano. From what it sounds like, he's back getting reps again. I think he is viewed as the future of the program, but. I'm kind of with Jimmy on this one. I think McBride was more effective, and I wonder if both of these guys will be back. I kind of wonder of all the 3 quarterbacks who will be back.
It'd be interesting to see. I do. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, that would be interesting if all 3 are not back.
If all 3 left, then you wouldn't be in trouble. But who are they going to?
One of them's going to transfer.
You got to wonder who's going to.
The guy with the shoulder surgery might
probably Dormady. Yeah.
But you better not lose 2 of them. You don't want to be down to just one.
No, you're
well,
right
and your commits are taking other visits and covering their backside too.
Yeah. What I liked about McBride was decisiveness. I mean, when he saw a hole, he's gone. He's in it. And knew to get rid of the football if he felt the pressure coming.
Wasn't tentative.
Garantano's
too tentative.
He
holds the ball, doesn't run the ball with the same kind of passion McBride.
Yeah, he puts his head down.
Garantano has the higher ceiling. I think Garantano has the higher ceiling. And McBride is probably just a little more advanced right now at this point.
Yeah, that was his first start, though. I mean, Garantano's a redshirt freshman that couldn't score from the 2-yard line against South Carolina.
I said this on your radio show last Friday. I just wonder if Garantano, again, Ohio State wanted him. My guess is if he'd gone to Ohio State, he'd look better there than he's looked here. And not just because of the supporting cast. Those guys know how to coach quarterbacks. They do a good job with it. He's been through several guys here at Tennessee. Yeah. Several coaches have coached, went through Dobbs. He had Bajakian, he had DeBoard, you had Sheridan in there, who was kind of your quarterback coach, not officially the quarterback coach. I just wonder if when you look at Dobbs, when you look at Garantano, same kind of thing. He's gone through a couple of different guys. I just wonder if these guys were as good as the 2 guys that Dobbs had.
The thing you also wonder about, too, was the message that he got from one coach different than the message he got from the next coach. Right. In other words, Canales may be going with a different perspective on footwork, timing, route, different things like that than the other coach. And so it's almost like relearning what somebody wants you to do, possibly.
I wouldn't give up on it because I think there's talent there. But I don't know that it's been tapped yet, I guess is what I was trying to say and wandered all over the place to say it. All right, when we come back, we're talking a little bit about the coaching search and why this John Gruden thing could be a bad thing for Tennessee. Come on back.
From games to weddings to parties, and from executive travel to a night on the town, Chariots of Hire is the simplest, most cost-effective, safest way to turn an event into a lasting memory. Their dozens of vehicles allow you to select the perfect ride for your need, and their superior service guarantees you'll arrive in style. More options, more drivers, more experience. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Chariots of Hire.
For more than 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, and the biggest selection of boats in the area. Boats like G3 John boats, built Gator tough. G3 Johns include all the features you could want from a workhorse boat. Massive live well capacity, lockable storage, even a midship fuel tank that allows for smoother running. See for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
Come experience the Lexus life at Lexus of Knoxville, a level of service and satisfaction that goes above and beyond the everyday. We're a consecutive 5-time Elite of Lexus Award winner and rated 4.7 out of 5 stars for customer satisfaction according to Google. Lexus of Knoxville offers a limited lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and select pre-owned vehicles with unlimited miles. Enjoy express service, extended service hours with courtesy vehicles, and much more. Come experience the Lexus life at lexusofknoxville.com.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Bill Hodson Associates, the car wreck attorneys, have helped thousands of people all over Knoxville and East Tennessee.
From downtown to the duck pond, Broadway has about 30 traffic lights. In our 30 years, we've helped people hurt at most of these intersections, and we're ready to help you right now.
Experience you can trust. Bill Hodson Associates.
When it comes to your business, no one provides better security and life safety systems than Safety Systems. Protect your employees, your products, and your records with a single phone call. Professional technicians ready to design, install, and monitor your cutting-edge fire and security systems. Electric locks and surveillance cameras. Emergency and after-hours response and repairs. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and life safety systems.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine. This segment brought to you by Chariots of Hire. Folks, the holidays are coming up. People are going to be going out to shows. They're going to be out doing the parties and the dining. And the best way to do it, call Chariots of Hire. I mean, turn it into a class event. The price, you're going to like the price when you see it. The sedans, the SUVs, the personalized service you get from the drivers, safe drivers as well. You're going to love it. Chariots of Hire, it's a way to take a night and turn it into a special night. It's a way to take an event and make it an event that people remember forever. Chariots of Hire. All right. As was the case 5 years ago, John Gruden is the biggest name in town. Every day, it's the longer this thing goes, the bigger the stuff gets, the wilder some of the stuff gets. I'll say what I've said before for 2 weeks now. My sources tell me he has been contacted by representatives of the University of Tennessee. I think one of them is a former quarterback. That does not mean John Curry's talked to him yet. I do think he likes the idea of coaching again. He does every time anybody talks to him. He does the same thing every time, and that's start to call his buddies, hey, if I did it, would you want to be in? That kind of stuff. And then meanwhile, UT says nothing, and there are plenty of people to fill the vacuum. And that's what you're getting, a lot of vacuum filling right now. My question is the John Gruden thing bad, this obsession, is it bad for Tennessee and its search? And we'll start down there this time, and everybody jump in when you want.
I think so, John. I think unless Tennessee hires John Gruden, this coaching search could be viewed as a failure by many people. And also, I think other candidates. I mean, how are they going to feel knowing that John Gruden is the guy that everybody went berserk about? And the look that Tennessee has in the national media now is they, look in on Knoxville and everybody, chasing the great white whale, I suppose, would be the equivalent of what we're talking about with Gruden. And here's the thing I learned from the Harbaugh thing when I was up in Michigan is you never say never, but you also be careful what you wish for. there's no guarantee John Gruden can put a staff together. This guy hadn't coached in, 12 years? When he won a Super Bowl, these recruits were 3 years old.
There's also no guarantee that if he comes here, he likes the job, because everyone talks about it, but he loves to coach and he wants to be a coach. What do you do in the pros? You coach. College, what do you spend more time on, coaching or recruiting?
Recruiting. He hadn't coached in college in 25 years or so, which is the reason I don't think he's coming here. Look, 5 years ago, he didn't come here because when he talked to a bunch of college coaches, some of whom were VFLs and some were former Tennessee assistants, they told him about the 20-hour rule. He didn't know anything about the 20-hour rule. They told him about some of the recruiting restrictions, that head coaches could not go out in the spring and recruit. They told him about the booster involvement. And he's like, are you kidding me? I don't want any part of that. And so he said no. He'll say no again. The same things apply. So I don't see him coming. But to your question, is it a bad look for Tennessee? Yeah, I agree with Mike, because people have got their hopes built up that anybody but Gruden, they're going to look at, oh, that's a failure. And it's not necessarily true. And it's also not necessarily true that Gruden would be a slam dunk success here either.
Right. There's no guarantee with anybody out there. About the only guarantee you ever saw was Alabama going after Saban, because they knew Saban had already won 2 division titles, 2 SEC titles, and a national championship in their own division. Yeah. That was about as sure a thing as you can get.
And
Gruden
Urban
isn't
Meyer
there.
was probably in that category at Ohio State.
Yes, at Ohio State, yes. It's tough to find those guys.
It is.
And it's tough to get them to move. My question is, all right, let's say Dan Mullen, for example, hero in Starkville. Let's say Tennessee decides to go after Dan Mullen. If I am Dan Mullen, I don't want to be the guy that's known as not John Gruden. I don't think I'm going to get a fair shake to be, well, here's our secondary prize for you, Dan Mullen, our consolation prize. I don't want to be that. There's no way. I don't want to be the second banana or the spider 2Y banana to John Gruden, as they say. Vince, I'll let you chime in on this. The Gruden thing, do you think it's a bad thing? Can be.
Yeah, I think it could be. I still think this Tennessee job is too good for candidates to pass on simply for that. And I've heard a lot of comparisons to the Jim Harbaugh thing. Mike, you brought it up. I don't think it's the same thing. I think the coaches we're talking about are in completely different places. What John Gruden's current job is a big factor. The money he makes, all the extra endorsements, all that, which is connected to his family too. So those are real extra dollars he gets. The cush position he's in, all those extra things matter. He's not going to coach in college again. So I think the Harbaugh thing is off. And I wonder if, to your point, John, is it similar to Bruce Pearl? Everyone wanting Bruce Pearl, do you not want to be the guy that in that surge that followed Bruce Pearl? Because that's what everybody set their sights on. Exactly.
How'd that work out for Conzo Martin?
Yeah.
And if it weren't for the Gruden thing, I don't think Butch Jones, the day he's hired, on his Cincinnati Twitter feed that hasn't been changed yet, I don't think he has Tennessee fans cussing him, telling him we don't want you.
Right.
I think that's because people thought Gruden was coming right up to the last minute and we were upset. Now, you and I are in different places. I'm not saying there's a 0.0% chance. As Gruden said the other day, never say never to nothing. But I would not bet on him coming. I don't think he's coming. Is there a chance? There's a chance of anything happening, but that's not a great chance. LaMarcus, really quickly, I'm going to end with you. A lot of stuff blew up this week because VFLs were out there on Twitter saying, I know something you don't know. It's big, it's good. And fans were saying, okay, they've been told. Curry has told them Gruden's coming. What did Curry tell you when he reached out to you and said, LaMarcus, I got to tell you?
It'd have been nice to have something told to me, but I didn't hear a thing about anything. You know, in the world of VFLs, you have one side that said, oh, we know it's a done deal, it's going on, it's going to happen. And the other side is saying, I don't think so. You know what I mean? And then, then you got some guys who say in the middle. But there's a little twitch that's going out that's saying a lot of VFLs want another VFL, T. Martin. That's a big thing that's circling in our little group is T. Martin. So I don't know.
In other words, the VFLs are just like the general population.
Exactly. That's exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. People are saying they're either trolling the fan base or they know something. And I thought, or they're just like everybody else. They want to believe in Gruden, so when they hear something that sounds like a credible rumor from someone they trust, they run with it.
That's exactly
That's no different than anything else. So, anyway, going to be interesting to watch. LaMarcus, I'm going to ask you when we come back. We're going to give you predictions for tonight's game. But I'm also going to ask you about one of your many former coaches, Lane Kiffin. There are people who want to bring him back. Should UT bring him back? We'll ask LaMarcus. Come on back on the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine.
When it comes to your home, No one provides better security and audio-video systems than Safety Systems. Control everything using your tablet or smartphone, whether it's a hidden TV or the temperature in your home. Lighting, doors that open and close, lock and unlock, cameras that allow you to watch your home from wherever you may be, all at the touch of a button. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and audio-video systems.
For more than 40 years, East Tennesseans have trusted Madisonville Marine. They offer great prices, terrific customer service, and the biggest selection of boats in the area. Boats like Suncatcher pontoons, ultra luxurious, sophisticated, and stylish. You won't find a more family-friendly pontoon boat. All with cutting-edge technology designed to enhance the quality of your time on the water. See for yourself at Madisonville Marine. There's no better place to buy a boat.
Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Bill Hodson Associates, the car wreck attorneys, have helped thousands of people all over Knoxville and East Tennessee.
Two of America's busiest interstate highways intersect in Knoxville. Interstate speed keeps traffic moving, but it can also result in terrible wrecks. We've helped a lot of people hurt in these wrecks, and we're ready to help you right now.
Experience you can trust. Bill Hodson Associates.
Come experience the Lexus life at Lexus of Knoxville, a level of service and satisfaction that goes above and beyond the everyday. We're a consecutive 5-time Elite of Lexus Award winner and rated 4.7 out of 5 stars for customer satisfaction according to Google. Lexus of Knoxville offers a limited lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and select pre-owned vehicles with unlimited miles. Enjoy express service, extended service hours with courtesy vehicles, and much more. Come experience the Lexus life at lexusofknoxville.com.
From games to weddings to parties, and from executive travel to a night on the town, Chariots of Hire is the simplest, most cost-effective, safest way to turn an event into a lasting memory. Their dozens of vehicles allow you to select the perfect ride for your need, and their superior service guarantees you'll arrive in style. More options, more drivers, more experience. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Chariots of Hire.
And welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Madisonville Marine. This segment brought to you by Lexus of Knoxville, lexusofknoxville.com, where you can learn more. Get ready for the holidays with that right there, the Lexus December to Remember sales event. ES350s, NX turbos, IS turbos, all at Parkside Drive. You get down there and talk to them about their new and used inventory. Talk about the tremendous opportunities they have if you're a service member, if you're a college graduate. They have all these plans to help different groups with the prices on cars. They do a great job out there, and they have for a lot of years. Lexus of Knoxville. Check out their December to Remember sales event. We appreciate them for supporting this show. Also want to tell you that tomorrow, I've been waiting to do this show for about a month. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. on WATE, it's our big coaching special. Going to go through the rules of a coaching search right off the bat. We're going to talk about hot shots, long shots, and some no shots. We're going to put them on the board. We're going to whittle a field of about 70 different candidates, left field candidates, just to keep an eye on. We're going to whittle that down to about 10 folks to watch, and we'll talk about some of these guys that are really in the list. We'll talk about them more in depth. More info than you could possibly squeeze into any other show because we got the audio, we got the video. You're going to have big lists to watch. Check us out tomorrow at 11 a.m. on WATE 6, the Sports Source. All right, before we turn back to tonight's game very quickly, LaMarcus Thompson, there are people in this town who want Lane Kiffin brought back. The same Lane Kiffin who split after a year, who left 2 weeks before signing day, whose great recruiting class was almost a complete washout aside from Daniel Hood. And who left you on probation. All that said, you get my feeling on this. Should they bring back your old coach? Because you liked Lane Kiffin, did you not? You liked him.
I loved his program. I'm going to be honest with you. If you were a player inside of Lane Kiffin's program, you would not have any issue with bringing him back. You know, because if you think about it, we had a team that had no chance in a lot of games, and all of a sudden you're losing by 2 points, you're losing by a touchdown. That guy can coach football. I mean, yeah, we might have a little extracurriculars. You probably need somebody that's tagging along with him the entire time while he's at Tennessee. But he can coach football. Well, give you an example. FAU. We're not talking about a place that can get all the recruits. They're not talking about a play that can go say, hey, this guy came in. It's all about coaching. and he went to a program that was what 3-9, 2-10 last year, and now they're first in their division. I mean, if that doesn't explain to you that he's a good coach, what does? I mean, proof's in the pudding.
The other side is he's also been fired by the Raiders, fired by USC. He was trying to work it out at Alabama and wound up Saban saying, no, go ahead, get out before the national championship game. All right, you heard the players' take. Now let me ask, just yes or no, any chance in hell any of these boosters that he left will say, yeah, let's bring him back?
No chance.
No chance.
No.
None whatsoever.
0.0. I said earlier I never say 0.0. I will on that. I will on that. I don't think you can build those bridges back that were burned.
Gritty's got a better chance.
Agreed.
And that's 1%.
Agreed. I may go over 1. But yeah, I agreed. It's a better chance of Kiffin. All right. Gentlemen, we've got about 3-4 minutes here. I don't know how you pick this game tonight. That's why, I don't gamble on football. I sure wouldn't gamble on this one tonight because, as we said in the first segment, hard to guess whether this team is going to be attitude-wise. What are we looking at? I mean, I'll also say this. When you look at Tennessee's talent and you say, well, LSU's more talented, LSU's more talented than Troy, too. And they lost to Troy earlier this year. They've gotten better. But thoughts on what you're looking at tonight? What do you expect score-wise, outcome-wise?
Well, LSU has turned it around since the Troy game. They've won 4 out of 5. The only loss was a respectable defeat to Alabama. The best thing LSU does, they run the football. They got 2 really good running backs in Geis and Williams. What's the worst thing Tennessee does? Probably stop the run. They rank 126 in the nation in run defense. They give up, 257 yards a game rushing? That's not a good matchup. Look, LSU's not going to run for 443 yards like Missouri did.
Are you sure?
Yes, because it's going to be muddy and cold. But I don't think it's a good matchup. I do think that Tennessee will play hard, but I don't see them beating LSU.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with Jimmy. I think Tennessee's going to play hard, but I just don't think that Tennessee has the firepower, or the personnel to, stay in that competition with LSU right now. So,
yeah, I agree with what those guys have said, and I'll add this: with all the motions of pre-snap stuff, the eye candy that LSU gives you, excuse me, it puts a defense in a bind with the eye discipline, and you have big busts for big runs. Tennessee has given up a lot of big runs. I think that's a recipe of doing that. And then LSU presses the corners against Tennessee's wide receivers. They have a difficulty with that. Just a lot of bad matchups, I think.
Yeah, bad matchups all the way around. I got LSU winning too.
That was very impressive, Vince, by the way. That was a professional. Worked right through the sneeze. That was
cough, yeah.
Was that a cough for us? That was pretty good, man. That was I don't think I could do that. That was impressive. Let's talk about Brady Hoke very quickly. One of the things we talked about earlier is maybe one of the reasons Curry didn't go to an interim earlier is you don't want to give an interim a chance to really wow people and become the next Ed Orgeron. Do you think that surely Curry told him, oh, yeah, we'll give you a look? Do you think he has any kind of a legitimate chance at the job? I would say no.
I don't think he does. I think that was the understanding when he was named the interim. I don't know that, but I think that.
Okay. Guys, Brady Hoke have any kind of chance here?
No, and people say, well, what if he wins a bowl game? Well, he's not going to get to a bowl game. Yeah, they already would have hired him. So best chance of 2-0, but it's not likely to happen.
A lot of people would have to say no, and they'd have to win out. A lot of people would have to say no, including Mike Norvell at Memphis.
The big rumor this week came out that he's going to Arkansas, which I thought was interesting since Arkansas, at the time that came out, they still had a coach and they didn't have an AD. So that's an impressive school that they could bring a guy in. As I said, I want to tell you again, tomorrow on WATE 6, we'll be breaking down the coaching search. It's going to be, now look, if Tennessee beats LSU, we'll talk some about the game. But I get 1 hour a week. So tomorrow's show will be the search. That's all it's going to be, barring a UT miracle. But we're going to give you information until your eyes bleed. That doesn't sound fun. Trust me, you'll want the information. And if you use Kleenex, you'll be cool. It's going to be a ton of info on a ton of different guys. Lots of people that you might not have thought of. We've gone back to find guys who have a tie to Curry, have a tie to Peyton Manning. Throw them out there, some names you might not have thought of. But it should be a very good show, and we appreciate you for joining us today for this show. We appreciate Madisonville Marine and all of our sponsors for bringing it to you, and we appreciate you joining us tomorrow on the Sports Source at 11 a.m. on Channel 6.
This has been a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.